Hello, everyone. Welcome to Picks from the Print Mine. So that was a fascinating intro, John. I'm glad you shared all that information with us.
I,
That was
some kind of technical difficulties there. Hang on just a second. I got to finish this birthday cake.
is it your birthday?
What?
Is it your birthday?
No, but it's
Whose
got to
birthday?
be somebody's birthday. I mean, all
Well, that's
every
true.
day there's somebody's birthday. So any cake you have is
That's
it's a
true. It's
birthday cake.
always birthday cake, I suppose. Well, hey, everybody. We got a lot of stuff to cover today and very limited time to do it. So should we just dive into it, John?
We'll get into it. What do you want to start with? Purple, red, black,
Red.
white? Something in red. How about dwellings and driveways?
Perfect. Dwellings and driveways. The
Keep
key.
on the cul-de-sac.
Right. So this is a fun little game. It's obviously inspired by a certain red game that you might know, um, but what it's how would you describe it, John? I'm
It's playing through like your real life, but looking at it in a more magical way.
I we could probably all stand to do that a little bit. Um,
Does that seem reasonable?
that seems like a good way of putting it. Yes. Um,
It is, unless I missed something, this is actually an adventure that is sort of designed to be played with whatever or system or non-system that you choose, or you can just kind of walk through it and talk your way through it.
you could use it for DCC if you wanted to, but it's not
Right.
specifically designed for that.
Its companion piece is diapers and daycares,
The Parents Handbook. I see. Okay.
which is its own. It does have RPG rules within it and a scenario. So I mean, you could take this and play this, and do all that. But again, it's a similar kind of thing. It's playing through the obstacles of everyday life. I believe one of the suggestions in maybe one or maybe it was in both of them that was the idea that your friends who are not gamers might get bridged over into gaming by fooling around with these, some evening after dinner or whatever. Um, Maybe they're into games, but they haven't gotten into role playing games. This might be a way to get there. But yeah, they're full of homages. Uh,
Things and driveways, $9.99. Diapers and daycares, $11.99.
yep, yep, yep. And there is a third companion piece that we don't currently have yet to show you. Midlife Monster Manual. We'll be covering that somewhere in the future.
The
What else we
futures.
got? You want to stick with red? You want to go to a different color? Pick
Um,
a number, any number. Pick a card.
7,324.
All right, that's let's see. That looks like Space Bulk.
Space Bulk for Neon Lords.
Neon Lords right there somewhere. Is that I don't know. I'm probably there.
Got it. You got it.
Yeah, Space Bulk. So again, it's kind of there's a kind of homage parody element here going on with a product that I think originated in what, the mid 80s,
Yes, yes.
carried forward for a while. I don't know actually if it's still around at all or in any form or not, but
I think
um,
it is, like there's some hardcore people who still play it, but yeah, I don't think you can.
right. But I don't know if it's in a version in print of it or if it's only in the aftermarket at this point. That's where all games go eventually, to the aftermarket.
So
Um,
it's basically an adventure. We got like a modular kind of setup where you can make the maps and there's random tables and all sorts of fun stuff with in the usual Neon Lords style.
and yeah, it's got because it's all modular and there's like tables for generating things as you go. It's got replay value. So if you were running some kind of sci-fi campaign or Neon Lords campaign or otherwise, and you like the idea of a big hulking spaceship that your players need to crawl through, you could use this two, three, four times, and it would be different every time.
Right.
I certainly, as soon as I started looking through it, I started thinking like, oh yeah, I definitely want to make use of this at some point in some form myself. It's exactly the kind of thing I like. Just a lot of tables, a lot of ideas, pull the
Yeah.
ones you want to use and make use of them. Do we say it's 30 bucks?
30 bucks. 30 bucks.
And quite a
So,
few pages, 80, 90 some pages, 88 pages, something like
yeah,
that.
your Neon Lords books are usually pretty big, solid books. So, but
Cut them in
let's
half.
let's continue in that theme. Next up, we have Warp Shine Runners,
Yes.
another Neon Lords book. This one is a more of a hex crawl. It's got a big map, 37 different locations on the map, and each location has a full, like, 1 or 2 page spread about it, with adventure ideas and monsters and weird random stuff. It's kind of the Neon Lords take on the Wild West.
Yeah, it's got a Wild West element. It's got a almost a kind of Shadow Mountains, that sort of rural mountain thing quality going on. And a mine features pretty prominently, which, like I get plenty of mine stuff. I don't need more mine stuff in my games, but if I
Right.
did, I might be looking at
I
this.
do, however, need more alcohol that mutates you. So we have
Well,
warp shot.
there we go. Yeah, yeah. And one thing I noticed about this was the tables for generating the different elements of the game, like there's kind of cross references built in, like the things that they're pulling out of the mine you could find elsewhere because they're powering something in an entirely different area of the adventure. So, there's nice kind of continuity. It's well thought through. This one also $30.
$30. Yeah. And speaking of $30,
Oh,
we also have Neon Lords, Riders of the Burp Warp.
yes.
And
So
this
this
is
one
one.
is what?
This one's
$30?
more of a source book. It's got like 13 new classes, right?
Right. Right. Such as the combat droid or the nightmare kid.
Radioactive Raccoon,
Sewer shark was kind of the one that, for whatever reason, like, yeah, I would play a sewer shark. Why not?
Toxic Barbarian, some great, stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. So all very, very retro, future 80s inspired type things. I mean the what was it? The toxic barbarian?
yeah, the
Looks familiar somehow. I don't know from where. Maybe
yeah,
a movie,
looks
maybe
like
a series of movies.
reminds me of you actually.
Well, I could be in movies.
Could be.
I'd be
You should,
okay with that.
Don, you should be in movies. Has anyone ever told you that?
No, no. Even in the theater, when I'm at a movie, they tell me I should get out of here.
Uh,
Uh,
well, we got one
we
more.
don't have any more Neon Lord stuff to talk about, do we? We covered all
No,
that.
we do. There's still one more we have, John. We have not talked about the Mutant Hive Wars with
Oh, well, I better put these on then.
3D glasses because it's in 3D.
Count Floyd.
Unlike other
Um,
Neon Lords products, this one is only $25.
and it is printed in color on the inside. And I am kind of tripping out on all the like 3D elements of
It's legit in 3D.
yeah, yeah. Things are jumping off the page at me. There's even so get this. This is 3D, but it's also a magic eye image. If you remember those where
That hurts.
you remember those with the
Yeah,
posters that just looks
yeah.
like junk and then like if you stared at it long enough suddenly like a dolphin would appear or something.
Yep. Took me the longest time to get the hang of those, and then I finally did it, and then I couldn't stop doing it.
Right, it's kind of
They're in 3D and like yeah.
even the map is in 3D. So the map this maybe you think this is not an impressive map because it looks blank. but the the adventure here is actually a solo adventure. So you're playing through it and generating the map as you go. And it also has guidelines so you can run it for a group, right? But like it's basically a workbook of a solo adventure for Neon Lords, which is, and it's in 3D, even the cover. And the trick with 3D glasses, if you put them on upside down, then everything recedes away from you.
We should do a show in 3D. That would be cool.
I have enough trouble with the dimensions we're in. It is a challenge. All right, so what's the next Neon Lords thing? We got to have something else Neon Lords, right? Or
finally, that's all the Neon Lords we have.
but this says neon on it.
But it's not for Neon Lords. That's
It's a different neon.
yes. The Neon Jungle is sort of a little setting guide for MCC. It's got it's got some
Volume 1.
that implies there will be future volumes.
I
But
think
it's
so.
got some,
I think
got
so.
some monsters in it. It's got lots of pre-made NPCs you can use, lots of random tables for different things you find in the jungle, and it does have I don't know if I would call it a full adventure, but an adventure outline at least for to get you started in the Neon Jungle.
A not overly complicated adventure, but one suitable for levels 1 to 2, and certainly, plenty to sink your teeth into, kind of a rescue mission. But yeah, overview of the Neon Jungle itself and the weather and the people you might find there, including the skunk people and the different plantients. Oh, and there's tattoos.
Oh yeah, tattoos. That one I forgot about the tattoos and bone carving. You can
Oh,
rules for
right.
carving things out of bone and making.
Yeah, the tattoos kind of, if you do it right, your character gets a little extra oomph, some little thing. Uh, so yeah, nice little zine for MCC to flesh out your MCC setting. $12 US. Apparently 16 in Canada. I don't know how that works. They have different dollars. Is that how that works?
Yeah, they have different dollars in Canada.
I've never been. I mean, I rarely get out of the mine for anything, but to Canada, whoa.
I hear there's an exit in Canada somewhere.
Oh, really? If we find our way through the tunnels far
Walk out
enough?
to Canada. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
All right. I'll have to look for that. Maybe the 3D glasses would help me
Probably
find it.
not.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Anyway, speaking of Canada, I don't know. This next product has nothing to do with Canada.
I was fascinated. I was like, what is this link? What is this? What is the connection here? I don't know this.
Valley of Brennan. It's a 0-level funnel. It says it's got the thing on the cover that says compatible with DCC RPG, and it makes no mention of MCC, but it's one that really straddles the line between DCC and MCC, so you could
Fair
really
enough.
use it for either.
I did not know we were covering this, so I have not read.
Oh,
I've
well,
not read
okay.
this. It looks good.
It was
It
in
has
my
like a big bug on the cover.
Yes, it's got a lot of insectoids in it, as a lot of modules seem to do these days. But yeah, in terms of like crossing the line, it has magic items in it, but also computers. So, like I said, when it crosses the line, it really does both.
So theoretically, it might make a good adventure for bridging, although it's a funnel.
It's a funnel, and it does have kind of a Shutter Mountains vibe to it to start with too. It's sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Rural.
An aesthetic.
Yeah, rural. Yes, aesthetic. I guess is the word. Yes.
And do you also play athletes, and then it's just everything?
It's purple planet athletes. In fact.
No, it sounds good. Like you could, like, I'm all for putting your sci-fi peanut butter with your fantasy chocolate. So like if you want to mash DCC and MCC together,
fantasy chocolate does not sound like an appealing phrase to me.
Fantasy chocolate, sci-fi chocolate, is that better?
It's better probably. I don't want some
Fantasy peanut butter, sci-fi chocolate. Oh,
I
I
don't know.
just noticed a
Actually,
weird little face up in the corner,
fantasy peanut butter sounds even worse. Let's stick with fantasy chocolate.
apropos of nothing.
What do we
All
got
right,
next?
nice. And what is that? That's $13
13. Yep.
from Goodman Games. There must be a bug. They must have a bug theme going because their logo includes like a. Let me get the light here.
Oh, it's a scarab. Is it a
It's like a
scarab
dung beetle pushing a D30 around instead of.
instead of a ball of dung?
Yeah.
Instead of some fantasy chocolate?
Hey, you want to talk about a product I have looked at?
Yes, let's do that.
Uh, Visitors to Fairhaven.
Okay.
So of course, as you may or may not know, the Kickstarter for the hardcover version of WHPA Weird Heroes of Public Access just concluded. Like, was it last week or over the weekend, or it was recent?
30 seconds ago. Yeah.
Very recent, and this is a supplement for that. Of course, ostensibly created when WHPA was a zine like this, but it's going to be fully compatible. I don't think, the hardcover is not like second edition WHPA. It's just WHPA in a.
The rules are exactly the same. Everything's the
Yeah,
same.
yeah. It's just all, packaged up together in a hardcover. And so this has got, there's actually an adventure outlined in here. There's a bunch of tables that are like visitors to Fairhaven of different types, like law enforcement or oddballs or scoundrels or I can't remember what all.
Uh,
The
weird,
lost or the forgotten or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a table of weird places within and around Fairhaven that you might stumble across. Uh,
Absolutely. And
and
just
and
strange complications.
right, straight. So it's basically just a nice way to randomly flesh out your version of Fairhaven.
And it has a nice retro art kind of vibe.
10-cent books,
Yeah, don't you wish?
right?
But kind of this kind of spot art kind of deal of scoundrels, goofs, reluctant heroes, the lost. Yeah, yeah. And it's all the tables are 2d6 um reading them as percentiles.
Right. D66.
D66 essentially.
That's what they call it, even though it's not technically one to
It's
60.
not Yeah, it's not a D66 and it's not a D36. I mean, if you had a D36 you could figure it out, but just, a D6 in the tens place and a D6 in the ones place and you're ready to go.
So, speaking
Anything else?
of D6s, this
Yeah.
next product has very little to do with D6s.
All right. Oh,
Cosmologia. Melogia, by
Logia?
Ed
Cosmologia?
Danik. It's kind of the manual of the planes, if you will, for DCC or at least Ed's version of DCC. So it has details on several different alternate planes, monsters you might find in it, a bunch of new patrons, a couple new races as classes, including the Fey Touched, the Genie Kin, yeah, and patrons galore. Corruption, spells, patron spells, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
And is that so? Once again, this is a product I haven't gotten to. I didn't realize we were going to cover it today.
Okay. I'm just
Is
picking
that
stuff.
is that like just general DCC supplement, or is it a PAX Lex K supplement, or is
I
it a
don't
little
think
of both?
I don't think it is specifically designed for PAX. Although
Okay.
obviously it's alternate other dimensions, so you could use it as the other dimensions for whatever your setting is, really.
True. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With that kind of a theme, it could really go with anything. you could put it with this MCC DCC Shutter Mountains
Right. Then you'd have
combo.
a lot of different bases covered there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love a mashup.
That was a nice $35 hardcover.
Nice hardcover. You got any? No, that's all right. $35, more than 4 pages, I'm sure.
Yes, it's probably 6 or 7.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. It's a very small font size to get all those patrons and
Right. Yeah.
planes and monsters and everything in there. It's get out your magnifying glass.
What's next? How about something you have read?
Uh, the other things I have read are not currently available on the website, so I
Oh,
figured we'd cover them when they're back in stock.
well, let's. Okay, sure, sure.
What else? I mean, we could just
Well,
preview some
here,
stuff that.
let me talk. I want to talk about this one then. I don't because I read this one. The uh, giant moth that awaits us all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this is a fun DCC adventure for what levels? Levels.
I can't remember. Is it a
I
first
feel like
level or a funnel?
I don't think it's a funnel, but I feel like it's a low level, probably first level. I don't see it
I
written.
I had a copy at the
Oh yeah,
convention I just worked at, and I was
level
going to take a look at it, and then somebody bought it,
yeah,
which
it's
is
level
good.
one, and it's got a variety of different moods, I guess, vibes that are all kind of mashed together in this one. It says intended for use in a campaign where whimsy and humor are equally at home with danger and horror. So it's got some tongue in cheek campiness to it, some straight up ridiculousness to it, but also some pretty dark scenes as well.
Is it like for some reason my impression of it, if it has something kind of dark in it, it might be like kind of a body horror sort of situation, or is it some other kind of?
I don't think it's a what I would call dark horror. Capitalism has run rampant. Um,
Well, there we go.
um, but it's got a new class in it that's pretty cool. The bird speaker, where you
Oh,
could talk to birds as a class. Um, yeah, and then so a new spell and some and well, it's an adventure obviously, so it has all the adventure stuff and 1666 for that one. So
oh yeah. Who's the outfit?
this is
Trying to think who it is that does they do
Twilight
everything.
Grotto Press.
What was it?
Twilight Grotto Press.
Huh. I guess that could be it. But there's somebody that their third party stuff or their indie products, they price them at like 1666
Yeah, yeah. Which
just
is
to make
which is fine online, but it's, it's
when you're at a convention, it's 1650.
I
I don't
rounded
want
up.
to deal with
I rounded up
pennies.
to 17. So,
I we should probably try to cover at least 7 or 8 more things, right?
yeah, 7 or 8 more things. Do you have 7 or 8 more things?
Let me put these on and see what I can find. And I don't think that's not a good sound.
No, no. That means it's time for us to get out of here, I think. So thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for the quickness of this show, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with a special Christmas gift episode.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Right?
Good night, everybody.